Hello, hello, hello. This is hour two of the same conversation, but yet not. This is Tina Michelle of Tina Speaks, and thank you, thank you, thank you for being here with me again. I'm having too much fun. This is my job, y'all. I love my job. I love my job. I wanted to say a shout out really quick to Mr. Ryan, who is the board master, who always makes the show work. And just because you can't see him, you actually can, because every time everything goes well, it's because of Ryan. And if things go wrong, well, we'll leave that alone. But we're here today and we're continuing these conversations, and I have to giggle, I have to laugh a little bit, because sometimes when I think about the next generation, I just want to cry. I have hope for the next generation. I don't feel hopeless for the next generation.
Right.
And I know that for myself, when I was a kid, there are certain things, certain elements that saved my life. Saved my life. I have my special guest in the studio today. We have Upfest in the room. Woo, family's here. And then I have my brother, Kevin Dean, here. And we have a first listen from Dr. Dawn Norfleet. Her music live here on Tina Speaks. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Grab people and have them watch, because you don't want to miss this. Otherwise, what are you doing with your life? Just kidding. Be right back.
Sitting in fear that I'm wasting my time. Am I sane or am I losing my mind? So elusive, slipping right through my hands. A single fleck of glass and beaches of sand. So I'm searching, yeah, keep on searching. You'll find that love will find you. Keep on searching. Dancing with a shadow.
We're here at 11 the 11 Studios, this fabulous event space, and he is teaching me some moves. You know, if you watch So You Think You Can Dance, you've seen his choreography, you know how amazing it is, and today I get to be in it with him. So stay tuned, check it out. You're gonna get to see me work. He's teaching me to work my twerk.
Okay, mark it. No music. 5. See, remember, the size you want to, and left hand side, so you kind of look over your shoulder a little bit. 6, 7, 8. Look over. You look the direction you're going.
You're swinging that head too much.
Okay.
My brain is definitely made.
So you look to the left, you look to the left.
Left.
Yeah, but look over your shoulders. Yeah, there you go. 6, 7.
Hey.
Okay, now watch.
Hey.
Now, it's so hard to explain this, but when you step like lead with your butt cheek instead of with your foot. Because what you're doing is you're going like this, then it just looks like this. But if you lead with your butt, it gives you that vibe. Your butt is going in the direction that you're going. Straight, exactly. Okay.
I got the
Here we go. 6, 7, 8. Now lead with the butt, here. Now you push that butt out. You bring it in. Now you work it. Now
Work to
clean,
work.
click, high, turn, and hit. Drop, here, turn, snap. Walk and the walk and the walk and bang. Walk and the walk and the step and ah. Yeah. 7, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back. Move, back, hit, high, turn, around, drop, hey, turn, hey. Like yourself, you got it. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. No, you want salsa?
What up? Oh my god, that was so much fun. We just finished making my dream come true for my bucket list, and the fabulous Tina Michelle made it all happen. And this is the amazing Shane Sparks, who was my dream. So a little backstory, I had been in an accident working on the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer, busted my ankle, was in a cast for 18 months, couldn't walk unassisted for 6 years, have a blue handicap placard, and used to be a dancer. And I wanted to dance, but my body just wouldn't do it. And then this amazing thing happened, a TV show called So You Think You Can Dance, kind of inspired me and made that grow inside and thinking, well, yeah, I could do that. I got some muscle memory, I could probably do that. And then I saw Mr. Shane Sparks. Now I'm jazz, tap, ballet, not hip hop, jazz, tap, ballet, cheerleading. I'm a cheerleader, yes, right? I can still do my whole high school routine. Cheerleader, pop, lock, twerk, what? No. Can't step, can't nothing. I got moves, but like salsa moves, not hip hop moves. And I was talking to Tina Michelle and I said, you know, I have this dream on my bucket list. I want to dance with Shane Sparks. I'm like, I so want to do that. And she's like, okay, let's do it. I'm like, no, Shane Sparks, not just hip hop. I want to dance with Shane Sparks. And she's like, yeah, we're both on the same radio station, rmconair.com. I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, matter of fact, he's on air. It's his first show today. Why don't you call him? I'm like, I can't just pick up the phone and call Shane Sparks. And she's like, yeah, call him. And I did. And look at what happened. Took the initiative, picked up the phone, called, we set it up. And today we danced. You're about to see that video, and it is amazing.
It is the hotness.
It is the hotness. But let me tell you, you want to know Tina Michelle. She is an amazing life coach. She gets you to do what you got to do to get what you want. And I got what I wanted. Watch it.
Okay, so I'm sitting here chuckling and have this big candy smile because my friend Adrian Ashley, who was just nominated for Emmy this year for his show, The F Word, F for Female. Don't write me. It's not a cuss word. For female. So she was saying that she went through something when she was doing I Know What You Did Last Summer, the second one. She played the mama in the movie. She had a huge accident, and she couldn't move for like 12 months. And then this show in particular was her inspiration. She would watch the behind-the-scenes stuff and watch Shane dance, and it would motivate her. And so immediately I knew I needed to set this chick up for hope, right? Because if people can think of a different possibility, then they can design a whole different type of life. So she came. She was already doing the Emmys. We hijacked Shane's show, literally. I was like, let's go to Shane's show. And we just like descended on this show and was like, hi, you got these old chicks sitting in your studio, whatever. We had so much fun. And we said, let's have lunch. And I already planned, I knew her bucket list. So all she thought we were doing was going to have lunch in Glendale. But no, we had the clothes. I had everything set up for her because she was a professional dancer at some point, but she was never a hip-hop dancer. That was her bucket list item. We get to Glendale. We get to this room. She's like, where are we? I turn on the lights, and I'm like, it's a studio. You're going to have your own private lesson with Shane Sparks. And that is what you're watching.
That is so nice.
Her bucket list fulfillment. So for those of you who are watching, this is one thing that I really love to do, and we're working together with Adrian. We're working together with Shelley Hunt, who is Michelle Obama's life coach, to create these bucket list items together. We just want to make people's dreams come true because we know that when you put hope in someone's heart, it becomes addictive. And they want to do it for someone else and do it for someone else and do it for someone else. So I wanted to show that little excerpt because we had so much fun. And with some of the content that we're doing today, all we're really talking about is transferring hope.
Come on.
We're not really talking about a system of government, a program, a curriculum. We're talking about the ability to create that specific moment, like a chemical reaction, right? Timing, access, materials, opportunity happening all at the same time and sparking something in someone so they'll do something different. That's all. That's all. It's that simple. It makes my job easy because I'm not God, but I get a chance to represent God over and over again. Not from this standpoint, not from a hatred or animosity standpoint. I really believe at the end of the day, when God speaks to me, he's going to say, did you tell him? Did you tell him I love him? That's what I think God's going to say to me. And I want to make sure I do that. I don't want to have my back to this wonderful lady here. She's my would-be today because I have a really, really busy schedule.
Okay.
But this is Dr. Copeland. She is my, what do you do for me?
I'm your educational advisor, and I am originally the UpFest educational advisor, and I just kind of like put the two together, and I'm fulfilling both positions right now.
She's doing double duty.
Yes.
Us chicks, you know,
Doing a wonderful job,
multitaskers.
too.
Gotta love them. Anyway, and now over there, all the way over there, is one of my favorite people who surprised me today. I almost cried when I saw him. I have right next to each other. Okay, visualize this. I have Kevin Dean, my baby brother, who I adore and I'm so proud of. You won this little thing. What is it called? It wasn't Pippo. It was like a Grammy or something. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Something like that. Grammy Award winning producer. I had the blessing to manage my brother. I've had the blessing to run his company, run his life sometimes. But he's my brother and I love him. And then next to him, I have one of my other favorite people in the world that surprised me. I didn't even know he's going to be here. Import from Arizona, Doc Woods. He's in the house. He's a great musician, great jazz musician. Him and Nayo have a wonderful set that they've done for a while. Nayo is not with us today. She's down in New Orleans making it happen. But he's also the publisher of a magazine called The 510. The 504, sorry. 504. Is that Nayo?
This definitely is, absolutely.
She's so pretty.
Take
I'm so
out the
proud of my
family,
girl.
mother.
Can we get a camera shot of the 504 magazine? Okay, 504 magazine, which represents New Orleans.
Producer, that's good.
That's right, represents New Orleans. You're his PR. And I heard a secret that the 504 might be changing area codes or adding area
Adding area
codes.
codes. We actually have 4 area codes. We got 310 now, which is LA. We got 702. We got 404 ATL and 215 Philadelphia.
That's hot. I also heard a secret that you might have a certain chick in your 310 magazine. Who's that?
I'm not sure. It better be with my daughter.
Yeah. You got to check it out. But the magazine is great. Talks about music, lifestyle.
Talking about what's going on in the New Orleans. There's a lot of good things going on in New Orleans now. We talk about the young people and how they're going wrong, but one of the hottest players in the country now is Trombone Shorty. Trombone Shorty is a 26-year-old young man that's just burning it up down there. Takes after, of course, the one and only Mr. Terrence Blanchard. If you're not familiar with Terrence Blanchard, he's done all of Spike Lee's movies.
Yeah, absolutely. And scored a lot of that, yeah.
Absolutely. And then if you don't know about him, you have to know about Kermit Ruffin.
Oh my goodness. We just got a music education right quick in this room.
Play some jazz.
That's right. And we have Dre over there representing Upfest.
Hey now.
Low Riders, right?
What's going on?
What's going on? This is my family. And then of course we have Freddie is here and you have to leave and I'm upset.
Like
Got a very important guest
yesterday.
to pick up.
Oh, that's fine because you guys have some,
should have him on the show.
a few little events happening this weekend here.
Yes.
Look at the card. This is no small thing. On Saturday is a peace walk
Yes.
through Compton. This is big.
Yes.
And Watts.
And Watts. And then on Sunday we continue with the peace ride. Okay,
It's a one-year anniversary.
1 year anniversary. So explain to our audience what's going on.
Well, for the last year, we've embarked on what has become to be world famous now as the Upfest United in Peace, which now has a festival. And between Reverend Alfredi, myself, the bikers, and now the National Lowriders, we have pulled together elements of our community who had not worked together in the past, who now are working together to promote peace. So Sunday will make 1 year that we've been riding through the blighted areas of Los Angeles and the surrounding areas, promoting peace, spreading information through the Way to Happiness, the Million Man March Pledge. We route people to gang interventions. We are routing people to look more at lowriders and what really is a lowrider and what is a biker, because this world have a negative image of people who can do fundamentally good work. As a result of these rides, we have been able to bring crime down in Los Angeles, in Compton, in Watts, in Inglewood, in Long Beach, in some places by 10%, but in other places by more than 30%.
Right.
We've seen a reduction in crime as a result of bikers to the tune of 1,500 bikers and 500 lowriders. We had our biggest ride in July that was at least 5 to 7 miles long, and the community went out of their head with happiness, spreading peace. So as a result of that, this color orange now is becoming to peace what pink is to cancer. And it's catching on. Entertainers are getting involved to where, God willing, next summer, we're going to ride from Los Angeles to Chicago, connecting bikers across the countries and lowriders across the country. Our goal is to reach Chicago with over 100,000 bikers. So we're going to stop in at least 20 urban cities going across country, promoting peace, reconnecting our people so that the pain in LA can be felt in New Orleans, can be felt in Atlanta, can be felt in Jersey, can be felt in New York, bringing us together under one umbrella, saying to the hoods, no more, man. You know, we're tired of dying at the hands of one another. And so that's what this movement is about. It is to wake us up to the crimes that we're doing against each other and to route us. Because if you're going to ask our people to come out of something, they got to come into something.
It's the law of replacement.
And so instead of a civil rights movement, we need a peace movement. You know, and it's working. And it's working, and it's
I love the work.
fabulous.
I met you guys because of Dr. Copeland, and I had you come in, fell in love, immediately fell in love because you're all about action. I have this whole criterion around action. I think we're enough yak. Let's do something different. Let's do something different. And what I really believe about doing something different, you have to be who you are. I'm not a human doing, I'm a human being.
Sure.
Because I'm a human being, I have to first honor my identity, take my position, knowing that I'm completely uniquely made. I was telling a bunch of young ladies yesterday, there's no competition amongst women. You're completely unique. You're a designer original.
Yeah.
Because of that, you have no competition.
And
Because there's
see-
no one that can do you.
Right.
Like the way you do you, and I can't do, you can't do me the way I do me. So it makes it easy for me to partner with other people because I'm not going, oh, you do what I do. No, you don't. You're not me.
And see, what I love about what you do, see, we're frontline soldiers. And it's like any other war. You have different aspects of a battle. You have those that are in the infantry. You have those who sit behind the computers and set the coordinates, who know where to drop the supplies. And that's what we have to do. We have to have a united effort of our people no matter where we are. The artists have a role in what we're doing. The politicians have a role. They don't have to get in the streets. We are there.
Yeah, and that's what I love.
But what you have to do is flow power
You have to flow
that
power.
which bring power back to you. And so we have to bring vision to a people that's
See, I
hopeless.
just felt that. You said flow, power.
That's right.
My favorite scripture in the Bible is Isaiah 60. Isaiah 60 says, rise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. But I like the Amplified version, because when I was a kid, people used to say, that's not Tina Michelle, that's the Amplified version. She just talk. She doesn't talk a lot. She just has a lot to say. So praise the Lord, it's a job now. But when it came down to the Amplified version of that same
paid off.
scripture, it was more, yeah, he can, I've got a witness in the room now,
all
so
that,
I
all
can't
that
even
hard
lie.
work paid off. Finally.
But Kev, what about Kev? What about? We were talking to death, both of us. My best friend and him and me would talk all night. He's like, "Oh my God, just shut up." Anyway, the Amplified version. It says the same scripture. Isaiah 60 is my life scripture. I've been confessing that scripture. How long have I been talking about Isaiah 60? At least 20 years.
Yeah.
I said, I know I'm called to that answer. I don't know what it is, but I'm called to the rise and shine, for the light has come. Then I read it in the Amplified, which said, rise up from your position of prostration in which the depression of your circumstances have left you, rise to a new light. And I said, there I am. There's my identity in that place. My place is not stay in the darkness and commiserate. I'm not trying to commiserate with you. I'm not going to commiserate with anyone, but I will come into a common unity called community to draft a solution of action.
There you go.
That's it. Makes my life simple. And people are like, oh, we should do this, or they're yelling at the TV, or they're criticizing politicians. Do you have his job? I don't want the president's job. I don't want the senator's job. I want my job. And what is my job in my community? To do the best I can with what I have and then connect the dots on people. I also love the scripture that talks about entering to the unity of the Spirit and the bond of peace. It does not mean that I have to unify with everyone. It says the spirit of unity, which means love. So that's my commitment. That's what this is a demonstration of. We have two conversations going on here, and I'm bridging the gap on it. If it wasn't for my involvement in the arts when I was a kid, I would be dead. And one of the things that I saw at Compton, you guys came with me to Compton High School, that arts program is sort of anorexic. The media program, was anorexic. I mean, up until when we sort of came in there in May, we did this great broadcast with the Carr Foundation in the school to 42 high schools. But I'm to tell you, I was an adult. I was boring as hell. It was boring. If I was a kid sitting there and heard all the yakking, there was only 8 kids present in that room. Do you understand the difference between what you guys saw and what happened in May?
Yes.
There was 8 kids in that room in May. And I said, I refuse to lose a child just because you don't know how to communicate with them. I used to teach Sunday school, because my mama made us do it. I used to teach Sunday school, and I remember thinking, that's not a bad child. You just don't know how to talk to that child. And I used to get mad. Oh, that boy is bad. I don't believe that there's a bad child. You just don't know how to talk to that child. Or you're not hitting the frequency that he's at. Therefore, he is tuning you out. The end. When I saw that in May, I was very specific. When my partner came to me, Dakar Foundation, Kevin Clark of the Dakar Foundation, he said, let's do something for Social Media Week. I said, no, I'm not going to just do something. I'm going to do a specific thing. And I need to show my kids. If I'm going to adopt this high school, I want to show what we're doing here, not as a point of just, ooh, this is, some little suburban mom has nothing better to do but to sit here and find some poor little kids. And no, this is what I could have been. This is where I came from. Here are the solutions my mama gave me. Now, these kids may not have my mama, but they have me. I'm going to try to be their mama. So you guys came, and we went from, 8 kids that participated in May to 1,100 kids in an open assembly. That's huge.
That is.
And then, they didn't even know you guys were coming, right? We already took them virtually to the Indy 500 floor. They started to see, should I say this out loud? How to legally strip a car?
Yes.
Okay, how to legally strip a car and put it back together again with the engineers in the pit. I wanted them to see what you do is not irrelevant, because a lot of times we have a gap between what we do on the street, the black market, and what is actually marketable as a skill set. It was Danny Glover who showed us that drug dealers, people who are doing quote unquote black market activities, actually have marketable skill sets that have not been labeled or quantified in a job. I always take that to the kids, because I said, the difference between you and that person is language. I went to college to learn language. I spent $150,000 to learn language, but innately you know these things. So it's up to me to say, okay, let me grab your hand. Let me get the language. Now let me help mentor you. Now let me help clothe you. Let me help get you ready for the party, dress you for the party so you're ready to go. That's what we did at Compton. So when we said, we have a special treat for you, I think I actually said that, right? I said, we have a present for my children. It's like Christmas. And they're like looking at me like, what is she talking about, right? We took them outside, and those cars were out there. Some of them were tilted on their side. I mean, it was the baddest thing you could ever see. Those kids went buck wild, and that's because of this organization, Upfest, that took the time out to bring the cars, the motorcycles, right, the Harleys, the solo riders, women and male operators of these vehicles, plus the engineers, to say how this works, how this translates into a job, how this translates into a future. I felt so full, I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
I was so full. And I was so grateful. And so that's you guys. So we'll continue this mission. On Sunday, how many people do you think are going to be there Sunday?
Our goal is between 5 and 10,000.
5 and 10, 500 and 1,000 people?
No.
Last time we had 7,000.
5,000.
So we want to break that record. 10,000 is the goal.
That's interesting.
We've already, we average about 3,000 now every time we ride. And that ain't even counting the people we touch in the routes, because the streets get filled with people who run to look at the unity of the lowriders and the Corvettes and the cars, entities that used
Can you
to fight
imagine
each
that?
other.
I mean, Doc, do you hear that?
When we throw up the power sign, you should see the streets. Everybody mimic it, and they
Black,
duplicate.
white, Latino, cars, motorcycles, Corvettes,
Doves.
all together, united
Bikes.
in peace.
Mini bikes.
I'd like to ask you, brother, the ride that you had, you said the largest ride, was that in New Orleans in July?
No, New Orleans picked up that from us because the mosque in New Orleans started it by watching us here.
Now, you part of, I'm sure you are, Brother Dennis Muhammad, that started the Peace Peace Ride or something. Dennis Muhammad, are you familiar?
He didn't start it,
Okay, that's
Now he copied this one.
but I know Dennis Muhammad very well, but he's not.
I think we got some wrong information there.
No, he has another thing, another entity that's a little different.
Okay, what's the name of that entity?
He deals with what he called the peacemakers,
Okay, the Peacemakers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes.
which he's very well known on the East
Absolutely,
Coast for that.
absolutely.
The Peace Ride started in Los Angeles.
Peace Ride, okay.
And the Peace Walk started with Minister Farrakhan having us to go out to the streets. But Dennis Muhammad is one of the great trainer of men
Yes,
in the
he is.
Nation of Islam. Absolutely awesome.
Born and raised in Chicago, so
Yes,
I had
sir.
the pleasure of coming up under and being around the Honorable Elijah Muhammad first,
Yes.
and then the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's first building was right around the corner from my
Yes,
house.
sir. That's a blessing, man. I'm
And
glad
played-
to know that you know Brother Dennis.
And played with his brother. His
Yeah.
brother's a jazz musician.
Yes.
Louis Farrakhan's brother's a jazz musician. Passed
Thank
away.
you. Well, Brother Dennis is organizing the East Coast. When we ride through the East Coast, he's going to help to organize.
See, well,
the
I can't wait
routes.
to connect the whole country. This is awesome. And then, we have this wonderful quiet man over here, Minister, Pastor
Reverend Alfredi
Alfred Johnson. So, talk to me. Tell me how this all connects, because we have two faiths sitting here, technically, right?
Technically, spiritually, actually,
Technically,
spiritually,
but we have the same mission.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, that is. I'll let Minister Tony do that. I back him up. But I want to say something to you.
What?
I really appreciate who you are and what you do. I see you. We see you. You're really sincere in your efforts to make a difference. A lot of people don't have the courage or the integrity or the care. The word care actually means to put attention on. And attention is the spiritual energy that gives life to whatever it's directed towards. And to listen to you and to your your intellectualism as well as your wittiness, your sophistication, and your funniness, and take that and give it and put it into the lives of others is something that is needed and missing. And I really feel that you just need to know that your life is not in vain. That the vision you have, I can see the vision. I can see how God, as a vortex, is working through you, via you, because you care enough to put your body into motion to bring about the manifestation of love. Love, is, by definition, is the activity or the things we do that makes things better for others.
Yes.
That's the real definition of love. The things we do that makes things better for others. And I see a demonstration of love in TM, in her show and in her efforts. I mean, you could just be here talking on the radio, but you actually get out, like Minister Tony and Upfest, and go into the community like a Pied Piper or a fairy godmother to spread some
But it's fun,
spirit.
right?
It's fun, but everybody don't do that. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
it's funny because at first I used to be afraid of it because I was raised in the church.
Right.
So we did things a certain way. And after spending check after check and creating one outreach after another outreach and trying to give things to the kids. And then my ex-husband and I, for years, we had a ministry called Unity of the Spirit. So we brought all the pastors in New York and New Jersey and Connecticut together in one conversation because we felt like if we impacted the influencers, then they would impact the rest.
Right.
And I still felt like I wasn't reaching enough kids.
Right.
I literally find myself crying, going, what's going to happen when we leave?
Right.
We had a great retreat called a Drama Free Zone Mysteries here in the house. She's the real captain. She controls this. Just my girl. But we had a thing called the Drama Free Zone where I would go, and it started out in a hairdresser. I don't know if you ever heard of Darlene Love, the actress. Darlene Love. Well, we used to get our hair done at the same spot. And then we would talk to the young women that were there.
Wow.
It turned into from having 5 girls getting their nails done, and we would pay for it, to having 500 girls coming from the Bronx, from Brooklyn, Queens, group homes, would bring buses, and we would have something called a drama-free zone. I would lock them down for a weekend. It was a concert. It was hygiene. It was spiritual. It was mindset. And then I would coordinate them as drama queens and give them a scepter that they rule over the drama. They have the right to decide whatever is legal in heaven is legal on earth, whatever is illegal in heaven is illegal on earth, and giving them the permission to do that, which is the only thing I could do. I couldn't make them change it, but I could just give them permission, and they would come back to me, a year later. I dropped back into school.
Yeah.
I took control over my mind. I took control over respecting my body. That was everything. But it was not enough kids.
Right.
And then I would hear people like one of my mentors, Les Brown, and he would say, you need to be on TV. You need to be on radio. I'm like, there's enough of y'all talking heads everywhere. You know, and that's just how I felt about it. And then it hit me when my mom died that if we don't get this footprint out globally, we're going to lose them. That's the only thing that made me do radio or television. Otherwise, I was not interested.
Right.
That we're going to lose these kids. We need a bigger net. This is a bigger net.
I love it.
Right. Well, I just wanted to acknowledge you for that.
Thank you.
And that you know that it's needed, and the demonstration, because a lot of times our people don't have a picture of what's needed and wanted or needed to be done. And you represent that image, that picture that gives them the idea that we have to move outside of the church.
The church.
In order that we might touch some lives and resurrect the dead. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
And that's what the Upfest is doing. We celebrate our first 1-year anniversary, and I'm just happy
It's gonna be fun.
to be here. And you're going to be there.
I'm gonna be
and
there.
helping,
We're
and,
gonna have
and also
cameras
interviewing,
rolling.
camera rolling, and we're just excited about it. So we thank you for allowing us to be here, and I'll just leave it at that.
And we look forward to what we're designing from this point forward, which is my commitment to Upfest. My commitment to Upfest is for the brands that we represent here, which is Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, Pitbull, Roscoe's at Home, RMC Center, and plus the other companies that are partnered with me for us to figure out an actionable way to design partnership equitably and in action. You know, not just yak, not just talk, not wishing and a hoping and a praying, because people love to show up when the cameras are rolling.
Yes, sir.
Right.
But when the music stops, they're nowhere to be found.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And being a church girl, I was always that person. When y'all stop singing, guess who's cleaning the pews?
Hello. Before you come, clean
Taking the
toilet.
gum off the bottom of the seat. You know, that was us.
That was
That's
me.
right.
You know, so it's time to get it done and get it done for real. We're not asking you to mortgage your home for it, but we are asking you to do what the Baptist church used to say, invest in the three
right.
T's, time, talent, tithes, right? Do that. Do that. And do it now. I'm not a person who's going to tell you to do something that I'm not willing to demonstrate myself. And this room signifies that. So we're going to shift the conversation up a little bit. We have Mystery, who's the road captain of Upfest here. She decides what happens on that road. And we're supposed to have a bike lesson, except I chickened out. But I will be there. I'll be there. I promise you, and I will work on it.
Amen.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back on Tina Speaks.
Let me ask a question while we have today. Should I grab a moment, let it slip away? Now I'm not trying to chase you, my MO's not that way, but there should be a reason why we're meeting here this way. I wanna say something so ordinary, it could blow the mind. Ever anxious about the world, are we running out of time? 'Cause I wanna know, is the logic in seeking love, baby, in a time of war? 'Cause I wanna live every moment just like the one, baby, when there be no more. Emerging from a safe place, our hearts and eyes can meet. Over fair trade mocha lattes and chat the bittersweet. Life's a chain of moments, every link of gold. So make me a present of your presence, your intellect and soul. So let's go. Something so ordinary, 'cause what we're fighting for. Well, I wanna live every moment just seeking love. much we seek in love, baby. 'Cause what we're dying for, well, I wanna live every moment you seek in love, baby. In time of like somebody science fiction, I will walk to your feet, raising future vision memories, when we plant a wire
Okay, now, everyone, that is a first listen from Dawn Norfleet. She had no idea I was going to play her project on air today. So whether she liked it or not, she was heard. But it's beautiful, Dawn. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Dawn is here with Kevin Dean, who is my special guest. He's over there. He's probably going, why am I here? Why has he got me in the middle of this stuff? And I'm not supposed to be working, but tough, you know, you're my baby brother, and I dragged you into a lot of things. But I love you. Thank you for being here. We have Daystar here, who's going to be one of the live performers at Upfest on Sunday. Woo! I love him. I love him. You got to love that smile. That's Daystar Double R, right? Daystar Double R. Right? He's going to be performing. What he will be performing for us during Upfest, upfest.org, is on October 27th. What time, Mystery? What time do we start? We start at
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock?
We line up at anywhere from, Andre has them lining up at about 11:30.
11:30. How many people are expected at this event, Minister Muhammad?
Well, our goal is to reach 10,000.
Okay. No pressure. No pressure. Tina Speaks will be there. Tina Michelle will be there, myself. And we will be representing it from a media standpoint. And may be able to say a little bit of something. But please tell people, some of the guests that will be there before Daystar Double R blesses the mic.
Well, I mean, when we ride, it may take us an hour to ride through the community, and we get back to the park for a day of edutainment. And in that day of edutainment, we're going to have Stanley Clark as one of our lead. He's our headlining
Stanley
act.
Clark.
What we try to do is mix up the various genres of music, and every artist have to rap or sing about what we're being about. You know, so their music have to lift the tone of the people and drive people to do something positive in their life. And so we have, what we try to do is highlight the local artists who may not be having the big recording contracts, but are very well known in the streets of Los Angeles. We give them a venue. We give them a way to where they can show their talents, while at the same time we control the content. Because I believe in controlling the content, because other people control the content and get us to sing low tone or rap low tone, which causes us some of the problems, you know? Who want to hear about rapping about B's and H's and killing our people? No. Save them through the music. And that's what this young brother is able to do, because many of the entertainers that I meet, that I've helped, I'm in the first documentary called Beef, where we brought the rappers to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and they told him.
I saw the footage.
They told him that whenever they intend to rap about something that's positive, the A&R directors, you know, at some of your big record labels switch their music and switch their attention to that which is low tone. And so we got to take back over our own talent and have our own creative juice, and then allow these artists to come before the people. And when the youngsters hear him rap and hear others sing, it lifts their spirit, and they rather go in that direction.
Well, you know he's my favorite. That's why he's here again. I love him to pieces,
Thank you
and
for
he will
allowing
be
me to be here.
performing.
He edutains the people.
He edutains. I love my edutainment. So go ahead, bless us.
I'm gonna have to stamp that word. Edutainment.
That's right.
You want me to
Go
spit
ahead,
something?
bless us. Do what you feel to do.
Let's have a conversation. Tell me something about yourself. Are you independent or do you need help? Compliment you freely. Just call me when you need me. Steal your heart. Love's consistency at being a scandalous thief. Your attributes are incredible as any standing statue. You're priceless, so attempting to put a value on your altitude is very impractical. I'm strategic. I'm tactical. My plan is calculated. It's mathematical. Dealing with different attitudes. Watch out for what you put your feelings in. Get mad and never speak again. The situation was so treacherous. The time spent was so precious. Look like I need work. I'm in need of an edit. Daystar, I'm gonna stop right there. I don't want to put too much on. I'm gonna stop.
Okay, that was a tease. That's not fair.
Yeah, that's a tease.
That's like giving someone a burger and only slapping the pickles in their mouth. Not cute.
Tomatoes, tomatoes.
Not cute. Joe, you're over there so quiet. Tell people who you represent.
Well, I represent the National Lowrider Association. I'm the vice president.
That's all you're gonna say, Boo?
Man, that man's so powerful. He needs to stop.
He is powerful. Something that you mentioned last time is that Snoop supports what you guys do.
Yes.
Right, and that's important. I saw a documentary called Resurrections recently, and that documentary made me so proud of Snoop. So proud of Snoop because it started out with the same shot in Long Beach when he's on the top of the building and they're hailing him for being whatever, sagging, doing whatever. But it ended up when he's in Trenchtown, Jamaica, and he had a revelation of his identity from a spiritual standpoint. And he made a decision for nonviolence. He made a decision to be a mark of confidence for the next generation. He talks about the talks with Minister Farrakhan and when Pac and Biggie passed, and my brother can tell you that was a painful time for us.
I was in Japan at that time.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. We all stopped because those were our brothers.
Time stopped totally. I remember the last time I saw Pac was actually at Unique Studios in New York. And I'm coming in the elevator, and then
wow.
What happened was about a couple weeks later, I'm finding
he was gone.
He's gone.
He was gone, just like that, and we knew Biggie and Faye when Faith it was Faye.
It was Faye, yeah.
Right. So, that whole part made me personally say, and I mean, we worked with Wu-Tang, and we got, Hellraiser watching us right now. He just texted me, he's like, what up?
Oh, really?
Yeah, RZA, what up? So, I mean, we had Wu-Tang hanging in our house to the point we had, like, Bumblebee trucks hanging out on our front yard. And
they came in the Wu van.
They came in a Wu van, and then they blew up the microwave because they put the Jiffy Pop popcorn in my microwave. Okay, we'll leave that alone because I'm still sort of traumatized about what happened to my kitchen that day. But I had to say out loud, I cannot co-sign this industry. I could not co-sign it anymore. But it's artists like Daystar and then getting into some of the Christian hip hop community, working with Petta D, Todd Bangs, Richie Righteous, those are my children, I call them. And then Sugar T, who's an empowerment brand. Even Indelible, I love that group that you have produced. Yeah. It makes me proud to say that I can sort of look at music from a perspective that, yes, I can give this to my child. I thought about some of the songs that I was hearing, even coming from our lab sometimes, Kev, and I was like, would I want my 12-year-old shaking her behind to this on the corner? I couldn't. Do you remember when someone, we won't mention, sang flat in the studio, and my daughter was 2, and she sat on your lap and said, Money, don't quit your day job. I knew I had to get my child out of the industry.
Well, you know what? Also, too, it's unnatural that when a people is in pain, that they rap their own death. It was the pain of the 60s that our entertainers sung us out of pain.
Yes.
And there is a record now. It has been revealed that the top record labels in the late 80s, early 90s made a pact and a deal. Many of your record labels went into the prison business. And a lot of the owners of those labels own prisons. And so now the music have helped to be the Pied Piper towards crime. And so we're not looking at something that's not a plan. It's by design. And that's why the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that the artists in every civilization are the ones through their creative juices that sing people, rap people, act people out of their misery.
That's right.
That's why this is unnatural. And that's why many of them are beginning to break away. And with social media like what you have, they don't need the Interscopes of the world. We don't need the Columbia Records of the world. Because the only thing that we have is our talent. That's worth more gold.
Worth more than gold.
And so it's mediums like this that if our youth get exposed to, They don't need any of those people to be creative.
That's right. What were you gonna say, Kev?
Well, actually, the thing is, I'm listening to Mr. Muhammad. Actually, I want to address Mr. Muhammad that at that particular moment, it was definitely defined from that perspective. But I have to make an announcement, and I think this would be good news for you, Mr. Muhammad, is that
Kevin,
things have
take your
changed.
hand
Things
from in
have,
front of
things
you.
have changed totally. Shark has totally ate his own guts out.
Come on.
Okay? The Shark has totally ate its own guts
Yes.
out. Because of the infrastructure of the industry the way it was, and because of everything from digital downloads and everything that had developed since Napster, everything from retail to distribution, all of it has actually been cut more than a half, more like 3/4. So even the overhead from all of these major conglomerates is pretty much it's dead in the water.
Wow.
So all the A&R, art direction, everything is pretty much just like out the door. You don't need it anymore.
Wow.
So which means at this particular moment, the thing, and I will say this, and I've made this prediction before in places that I've actually spoke at. In 5 years, the new indie will be the new major.
Wow.
That's right.
Okay, because right now it is the form now is so widespread. Everything is not from an actual genre perspective now. It's from a world music perspective now, which means everything now is acceptable. There's not even an age factor. It's not even a color factor. All color lines. Right now, the playing field has been totally leveled.
I love it.
And him and I have been sort of giggling
Man,
about
that's
this for a
powerful.
while, right?
Yes.
That we are actually seeing a shift because we support the independent artists, and no matter what.
This is the greatest time.
He
for
was my
indie
favorite
artists.
client.
That's
and
real.
sometimes,
In fact,
sometimes my worst client.
I have been dealing with Tina for about years, and so, with that in mind, we have seen this industry go from its top peak, especially, and I hate to make it into a cultural perspective from where we were coming from the black music perspective.
Yeah.
It went from ghetto.
I mean, we
fabulous-
started all the way from Uptown, Andre Harrell, from the talent shows at Mount Vernon High School where Diddy
Please
was
stop
just doing
showing
the
our
Running
age,
Man
please.
as a.
But see,
But we literally were there during that time of the
Right.
game. He was a producer for Dre Harrell, directly transitioned to Motown, where we got to see the word hip hop develop in a boardroom. Then they couldn't figure out what to call Mary, so they just called her Hip Hop Soul, made up the word. We were there when these things happened.
Sure.
So the responsibility that we felt is very different. So I felt I had to say I can't co-sign this
Right.
because I was a manager, and he would bless me to be one of his executives
Yeah.
in the actual company. That when I took a stand, because people respected what we did, they respected our love for the music, but to take a stand and say I check out.
Sure.
I will not play a radio. I will not listen to any of this. I will not sit there and pretend that I'm trying to save you. I'm a preach you Jesus while co-signing what you're doing. I'm not doing it.
Right. And you
You
know
know?
what? And that's so beautiful because if you look at it, even what I love about hip hop, it started off with them lecturing, with them teaching.
Teaching.
The KRS-Ones,
KRS-One.
That's
you
right.
know, the public enemies of the world. I mean, these cats was teaching. Our enemies saw that. And the same thing happened in the 60s, that when the artists got behind the movement, it was over.
It was over.
You see,
But
but the
you're
artists
talking
are
about
so
raping
disconnected from the movement
art-
now, but with the way my brother have explained how it has imploded on itself, and the
it's
artist is
beautiful.
more freer now than he's ever been.
The indies have
that
it.
lifts my
indie
spirit.
film, indie music, indie publication. We're working on a website, and I can't wait to release it to the world, called the IndieFlow.com. And the Indie Flow will focus on independent arts and global distribution and partnering with those channels that I've worked with for 25 years, that you've worked with for 25 years, consolidating it all. One thing I want to say before we go to break, and then we're going to wrap. I can't believe this has been 2 hours already, and I'm blessed to be able to be in this conversation with an action. We have takeaways, right? The 27th. We're getting together. Actually, the 26th is the Walk for Peace. Where's my little card? Can I have my card back? Thank you. The 26th is the walk, the Peace Walk, right? Starts in Compton, goes to where?
Watts, Compton and Watts.
Okay. And we start at the Magic Johnson Park. Now, the 27th is the Peace Ride. And Mystery, tell people what you do, because you're my girl.
I'm the road captain for the United in Peace organization. And I just say where we're going to go and how we're going to get there and how fast we're going to go and who's going and who's not.
How many vehicles?
wow, maybe at least 500 lowriders, just them, and then the Corvette Club, and then the Dually Club, and then the Porsche Club, and then your club, and whoever else's club, and the bikes.
It's going to be serious.
About 1,000 bikes.
Hey, Dawn, you want to play with me on Sunday? You want to come out and play?
Oh, this Sunday, actually, I have to.
You're lame.
But
Well, she certainly.
You're being treated like a sister. Don't
We
take
do
it
once a
personally.
month.
But I will be
Fourth
playing
Sunday
at
of every
the,
month, so she's welcome.
Yeah, she's the
California
fourth
African American Museum.
For
on-
people who wanted to know what we're playing in between during our breaks, this is Dawn Norfleet. This is our first listen of her project. We have listened to track 1 and track 2. I'm very excited to be able to release it to the world. It's a beautiful project.
Thank you.
In the spirit of Incognito, and you know I love Incognito and Mesa, but other, because you have your own little special sauce that is added to it, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We're going to take a quick break here in Tina Speaks. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Wonderful project, yeah, sister.
Looking into the eye of the setting sun, settling back into the bed of sea, pondering all of the things it is thought unseen, guarding secrets of our eternity.
We will have Indy 500 cars there, low riders, Harley riders, solo riders, showing kids how science makes sense for their lives and their futures. And then Thursday night, we're gonna do something called Socio. Now that Friday night is a little special. We're doing a green carpet. Our green carpet event here in Los Angeles. And what we're doing during that time is we're showing how companies can come together and form something that I call a strategic constellation.
Comes around, it's the cycle of life. Comes around, after friendship into strife. Comes around, after selfishness and rancor. Comes around, comes truth and laughter. Coming down like the voice in the wind and the falling rain. Coming down like the waves going forth and then back again. Coming down like the fear in a child when she's all alone.
That is Dawn Norfleet again. And before that, you watched some video clips of Social Media Week. I believe you watched some lowriders with the cars sort of sideways, right? That was, first of all, I'm from the East Coast, and I just have to say, don't take it personally. I never understood why people did that. I would watch the video and I would see the cars bouncing. I'm like, what's that? Why are they doing that? But when I saw it live, I thought about being a teenager. It's just the coolest thing in the world.
Well,
It's
it's
like
big
so
now on the
cool.
East Coast. It's very big now on the East Coast. As a matter of fact, my car club, a longtime member of the Individuals, we have a chapter in New York. Really? Yes.
Really?
And it's pretty big.
I don't think I'll be riding a motorcycle
We
on
have a
Sunday.
chapter in Japan too.
But can I get in a car that bounces? I want to get in a car that bounces.
And that's why we're going to bring them all together to have an authentic West Coast lowrider on the East Coast is just power.
It's power.
That's I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, what we do in the National Lowrider Association, we bring black, brown, Japanese. We bring it all together, and we feed the homeless. We clothe and feed the kids. We give them. We're gonna have a booth this weekend that's giving away just free candy because we try to keep the kids. My president Sibo and my CEO Big Dwight. What we do is we came together collectively and we try to keep the kids from going trick or treating. Let them have fun at Upfest because this is new for us. This is like our 6th or 7th one. We haven't been there the whole year, but it's new to us.
That's
and because it came around this month, what we're doing is we're going to have a booth to just give away candy for the kids. So they really don't have to go trick or treating, you know what I mean, with all the stuff that goes
We're
on.
gonna
right
go
here.
trick or treating in the FS.
That's right.
So the National Lowrider Association, what we do is we're trying to take the negative stigma off
That's right.
of lowriding,
That's right.
which we produced in the 80s and 90s with the rapping and the B's and the H's and you know what I mean. So what we're trying to do is let them know
That's
and let
real.
the family. Matter of fact, like next month we're going into a couple of elementary schools to play kickboxing with the kids. I mean kickboxing, kickball.
Kickball.
We're not kickboxing with the kids.
That could be an issue.
Yeah, we all got TV tests and everything. You know what I mean? So
That could be an issue.
And that's the beauty to see. You got lowriders, you have bikers. They are the heroes.
Yeah.
Because they come out of the culture, and so to have those children seeing these powerful lowriders come back to them, because they don't get to see the Michael Jordans, they don't get to see the Snoop Dogs. They see the lowriders all the time. And those cars are such action cars. It blows me away. But to have them speaking to the youth, you know, they're closer to them. They say, look, man, through riding, I don't bang. You see? And now we are associated with other clubs, Latino clubs and Asian clubs, but ain't no banging in it. And it's money in it. Because those cars, I mean, his car, the cars I've seen, it cost $100,000.
Wow.
So to show the youth that you can build your own car. In fact, we don't need Chevrolet. We can actually manufacture our own cars.
Wow.
You
Wow.
know.
I love that. We had a brother that was there in Compton, Joe Ellis. Remember
Yes.
him?
Oh,
and he
God.
manufactures it. He's
Yes.
hiring people here in California to do it. He's hiring young people. And, you know, us finding gems like that, that's
Yeah,
what's
man.
important. And showcase them in front of the kids so they can see someone that looks like them.
Yeah.
And they can say, you know, the most important thing, me too.
Right.
That's all they have to say is, me too, I can do that too.
Yes.
And that's where it all began. So you guys represent that, and I appreciate you all. I love you all. You're my family. All my family. Can't see Doc. You still there, Doc?
I'm still here.
I love my Doc. I love my Doc. So I'm very excited that we are able to expose this to our audience.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the call to action. Here's the call to action. And I want you to follow me. It's one thing to watch me talk about these things and have all these people around, and it seems like it's so easy. No, it's not easy. It wasn't easy to decide to do it. Once I decided, cutting away all other possibilities, that's what decide means, right? To decide, cut away all other possibilities of inactivity, non-participation, just sitting there and be one of those couch politicians complaining. Once I decided to do something about it, God and the universe made it all happen, no matter what it was. So what I challenge the audience with, figure out what that one thing is. What is it? What is it that you're called here to do? We need you to show up there. What I tell my clients all the time is that if you don't do what you're called to do, then you deprive me of your whole being, your whole essence, and that's unacceptable to me. I want to see and feel and experience and love all of you. And this is what you're seeing. You're seeing people show up in their bodies and their skin according to the universal divine that God has designed, that God has created. I always tell people I'm not difficult, I'm just decided. I have decided some things about my life. And I may or may not change my mind because I'm a girl and I'm allowed to do that. But I'm decided. I'm decided. And it's important for me to be decided because if I don't decide something, then I'm just going to be all over the place. And everything that God put into my cells, the very DNA of my body, is a waste of raw materials. So when I challenge our audience to get involved, figure out Not just what does this content mean. You know the challenge of Tina Speaks every single week. Who do you need to be to do it today? Figure that out. Who do you need to be? When I was a kid, I wanted to dive. I liked diving, swimming. And my favorite diver was Brian Boitano. Where I didn't know anything about diving, I was able to copy all of his motions to the point where I was just like him visually. And then I added my own flair. I sucked at it a lot. And I hit the water like this a lot. But once I got it, I was just happy to conquer that one thing. So my challenge to you is figure out who you need to be to do it today. There's someone who can be a physical mentor, a proximity mentor, someone around you, a virtual mentor, an experiential mentor. Find them. We have the internet. You have no excuse. You see, you have reasons and then there's results. I cannot take your reasons to the bank. Know that. There's an ROI in your decisions right now. Email me at tina@tinaspeaks.com and tell me what you're going to do differently and let us support you. And don't forget, if you have a bucket list for a friend, can't do it for you because you already know it's not a surprise. It's got to be for a friend. We want to make it happen. Me and my friends want to make it happen for them. We'll talk to you next time here on Tina Speaks. Tell people all about it. And don't forget, go over to rmconair.com and RMC On Live to see our programming. It's hot. It's sexy. It's the #1 content producer for the urban community in less than a year, and I'm very proud of my network. Talk to you later.